Welcome back, everybody. In just a moment, Jack Tierney will be signing back in from DC's exercises, and we will get going with the phone training part of our agenda. Jack, you there?
Yes, I am.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Josh. We good to go?
You are good to go.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys benefited from that exercise. Thank you again, Sterling and Alex, for your awesome advice there and your strategy. And you know what I was thinking? I could sit here and babble about phone time for a little bit, but you know what? Instead, I'm gonna have you watch just a little short video that we put together for you. So Kevin?
Yeah. So the reason I was calling, I wanted to see if there was any reason you and I couldn't take 5 or 6 minutes next week and jump on a Zoom call and for me to show you what I do.
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
And the reason I was calling you, Chris, is I wanted to see if I could get a few minutes in the coming days just to do a video call with you and show you what I do.
Yes.
Let's call it 10:30. Is that all right? Okay. And I will send a Zoom invite. Is that all right? Can we work with that? Okay.
I just wanted to see if there's any reason you and I couldn't jump on a call for 5 or 6 minutes by Zoom next week and for me to kind of show you what I do.
Yeah, next week's better. This week's a disaster for me, so.
I've been meaning to meet you, and I just wanted to give you a shout and see if either the next time I was there or the next time you had a couple minutes to hop on a quick Zoom call, if I could show you what I do.
Yeah, if the next time you're there at the firm, it'd be great to meet you.
Excellent. Well, I am booking out into April, but what I was actually going to suggest is, given sort of the state of affairs these days, I'm actually booking virtual appointments next week. And so if you're working from home, I actually have a couple openings on my calendar for Tuesday. Wanted to see if you had a few minutes to hop on a Zoom call. I could send you a link maybe around midday.
Yeah, why don't you send me a link?
And the reason I was calling you is I just wanted to see if I could set up maybe a 5 or 10 minute video call with you in the coming days just to get to know you better, tell you what I do, and see if you might benefit as well.
Next week would probably be best, Jason, for something like that.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I was calling, I wanted to see if there was any reason next week you and I couldn't take 5 or 6 minutes and jump on a Zoom call for me to show you what I do.
Sure.
Is earlier or later in the week better for you?
There you have it, folks. I'm done with today. Have a good day. Only kidding. Guys, isn't that so awesome? Everybody knows about Zoom. The new business prospects are open to meeting. Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but that video just fires me up. And so the reason I really wanted to show it to you all is that here we have your colleagues, some courageous, hard-charging sales gurus, scheduling new business and making the impression that setting up a quick Zoom call for 5 or 6 minutes is just the norm. And you have people agreeing to it. And so I just love that. And it just really fires me up. And so more than anything, I really wanted to show you that just to convey a point of conviction in that our dialogue works, guys. and people are meeting over Zoom, and we've heard several stories about new clients purchasing this way. So I hope that encourages you as much as it encourages me. Okay, so there is a good bit of thought that's gone into the dialogue, but guys, I want to remind you of one thing. Our objective over the phone when calling on new business remains the same, and it's just one objective: to book the appointment. That's all it is. And I wanted to go over a quick little sort of thinking part of phone calling and principles, if you will. So I hope you enjoy this. As mentioned in Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blunt, if you want sustained success in your sales career, you have to interrupt prospects. You have to pick up the phone, you have to walk in the door, send an email or a text message or a LinkedIn message or an Instagram message. So bear with me for a moment. The inaction of calling due to the thought that now is a bad time because of what is happening around the world is equivalent, in my opinion, to what is mentioned as a slump in the common denominator of success. A slump is defined in the common denominator of success as when people go into a slump, it simply means that they have reached a point at which, for the time being, the things that they don't like to do have become more important than their reasons for doing them. And I want to say that again because I believe it is very powerful. When people go into a slump, it simply means that they have reached a point at which, for the time being, that the things they don't like to do, i.e. phone calling, have become more important than their reasons for doing them. Perhaps very equivalent to one of the levels on the Kubler-Ross model, for which is not in the positive direction. In addition, guys, if we allowed circumstances, even the most extreme ones, to influence our thinking and therefore control what we do, wouldn't we be able to identify many unfortunate times to be calling on people? If we allowed circumstances to control our decision-making, a down day in the stock market could influence us to not make phone calls. Snow or bad weather, a tragedy outside of our control. What's happening to the world right now is currently just that, a circumstance. So while I can't see your hands or your faces, I have a question for you. Do you enjoy floating strangers? Do you actually enjoy it? How about scenarios where the float, the potential prospect, is walking directly at you and he's at a really fast pace and something is clearly on their mind? Do you enjoy stopping him? Or what about a crammed elevator with an exceptionally sharp dressed person in there and you have to act fast or else your opportunity will vanish? My point is that more than likely, none of us thoroughly enjoy doing that. However, the reasons why we do it or why we should choose to do it must outweigh the act of doing it itself. In other words, our goals. As you rapidly make decisions throughout the day, you have sometimes have to determine in a split second whether or not to do something that could require courage and result in rejection. You don't do it because you like it, you do it because you have something that you want to achieve. So I also wanted to read this to you from the common denominator of success. It goes on to add this about successful people. But if they don't like to do these things, then why do they do them? Because by doing the things they don't like to do, they can accomplish the things they want to accomplish. Successful people are influenced by the desire for pleasing results. Failures are influenced by the desire for pleasing methods and are included to be satisfied with such results as can be obtained by doing the things they like to do. Do you know what's easier than floating? Not floating. Do you know what's easier than making phone calls? Not making phone calls. It is significantly easier to not float than it is to float, right? And so I want to read that again, just to mark a point to you guys about the common denominator of success. So if successful people, if they don't like to do these things, then why do they do them? Because by doing the things that they don't like to do, they can accomplish the things they want to accomplish. Successful people are influenced by the desire for pleasing results. So what is a pleasing result? Personally, to find out that my units just doubled in terms of points for my trip got me extremely fired up. How about getting paid on balances due plus your orders booked? And the fact that I can earn a significant amount of income while other sales companies are cutting back on their expenses. I can tell you right now that I am more willing to do the things that I don't like to do in order to achieve the result that I want to achieve. So back to phone calling. While we continue to adapt and improve as we go through virtual selling, our dialogue that has worked for many years continues to work, but with just a couple minor tweaks, guys. So as you've seen some footage there, the intros are virtually the same. And I'll run through it just in a brief way. And I know you all know it so well, but it goes like this. Jim, Jack Tierney. Don't rack your brain. We've actually never met. We have a few mutual connections in Kevin Aaron, Alex Homer, Duncan Ham. What I do for those guys is make their clothing, suits, shirts, casual wear, things like that. And here is the different part, which is this. And the reason for my call is I wanted to see if there was any reason I couldn't take 5 or 6 minutes, hop on a Zoom or FaceTime call and show you what I do. And that's it. And I'll say it again. The reason for my call is I wanted to see if there's any reason I couldn't take 5 or 6 minutes, hop on a Zoom or FaceTime call and show you what I do. And I love the verbiage of that question, because literally the intent or the objective is just literally to show you what we do. And the beauty behind this is that we're not seeing the next time I'm in your building. It's literally over the course of the next several weeks, perhaps, if we can schedule 5 or 6 minutes over a quick Zoom or FaceTime call to show you what I do. And as you guys have seen, those were all prospects. And no, we didn't set that up, but they had no exposure to us before. They had no idea that we were calling them, and they were already familiar with Zoom and FaceTime. So I hope that gives you the confidence and understanding that we aren't just the only ones in this world who are using this platform. The other thing is that question is asked in a manner that's as easy as, hey, Josh, the next time I'm around, you want to go grab a beer or something like that? And that is the beauty of that question. It's asked in a manner that is so easy to say yes to and really hard to say no to. So we're going to be featuring this dialogue. It's already actually posted on the Tom James Secure site underneath the coronavirus counterstrike. And one of the things that you'll want to make sure that you do when you book the appointment after your client, if the prospect says, sure, Jack, we can set up a quick Zoom call, is one of the things I make sure we add is, what's a good email for you? And even if I already have it, I want to confirm that it's the right one that they use. And the reason why I do that is, and this might be a little bit of a phone calling 102, but as we get more comfortable with scheduling Zoom appointments and being able to speak on the phone and also utilize our electronics, Kevin Naren will show us how to book a Zoom appointment later. It's nice to be able to send a client a Zoom appointment while you have them on the phone, and so they can confirm that they have it. You'll enjoy that because it will improve both your keep ratio and hopefully your close ratio. And from that point moving forward, guys, it's no different than our traditional means of operations, choice of 2 positives. Okay, Josh, does Tuesday or Thursday next week look better for you? And you continue to close until you get there. Now, some of you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, we saw just the good bits of the phone calling. And yeah, you're right. But we also know that without the coronavirus, that people still say no. However, we have to be prepared and planned to handle our objections. So one of the objections that I'm sure you'll probably encounter the most is, yeah, Jack, clothing is just not a priority for me right now. Or I'm not even thinking about my wardrobe with everything that's going on. And so what we have included is a dialogue for you to use on the secured site. And it goes something like this. Now, granted, let me also start with, this is just a basis for what we do. This is a dialogue that, is it guaranteed to work every time? Of course not. Have we thought a lot about it in every intention and every word? Of course, we absolutely have. So don't think that if this isn't working for you, that it's a problem with the verbiage. I promise you, not every prospect will say yes, but I still think it's important that you master what we have and then continue to make it better. So in the event that your prospect says clothing's not a priority for me right now, basically what we've written out is totally understand, Josh. The reason for my call is just to tell you more about what we do and share with you why Kevin and Alex and Duncan like it. And at the end of it, you can determine whether or not it might make sense for you. At the very least, 5 or 10 minutes will confirm that. So that being said, is Tuesday or Thursday better for you? And I'll say it again. I totally understand, Josh. The reason for my call is just to tell you more about it and share with you why Duncan and Alex and Dash like it. And at the end of that time, you can determine whether or not it might make sense for you. At the very least, 5 or 10 minutes would confirm that. So does Tuesday or Thursday work better for you? So I share that with you to give you hope that and to see other people having acts of courage, booking new business and signing them up. From that point forward, once you book the appointment, is same as we normally do. March right into qualifying the prospect and creating that buying atmosphere. Not every appointment we know is going to say, yeah, I was just thinking about clothing. I could use 10 suits. And matter of fact, can you hop on right now? But what we do want is to be able to confirm the appointment and begin creating that buying atmosphere. And just in a moment here, we're going to go through an entire appointment from our very own Robin Hoare out of Vancouver. And we'll dissect every little bit of it. But until then, I want to just have you guys consider something for a little bit. What if you're able to book 5 new biz appointments per day? What would that mean? Under today's circumstances, it would take no drive time, no parking time, no walking from building to building. You could see new business hour after hour from as early as you can till as late as you can with no downtime in between. Suppose you were able to book 5 appointments per day. If you did that and kept 60% of 3 people, and if you close 60% of those, that's looking at 1.8 transactions a day or 36 transactions a month, which could lead to well over 100 unit month just in new business alone. I hope you find that as encouraging as I do and enjoy the process. So now what we'll do is we're going to go through an actual live call with our very own Robin Hoare, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hey, Jack, we're going to try that again. If you could stop sharing your screen real quick and hit share screen. And before you click the window at the bottom left, there will be use computer audio.
It's asking me to share computer audio. Please install the Zoom audio device.
Jack, I'll take the share over and play the video. You just tell me where to stop and start.
Stop share.
Yeah. Bear with us one moment, folks. We've got backup plans. This is what you're looking for?
No. I can send you the link though, and it's a Zoom link.
Oh, is it on Vimeo, Kevin?
No.
Good.
Stand by, people.
You can send that to ilovehugsandkittens@gmail.com.
Jack, is this the right video?
Yeah,
Where would you
I'm
like
just
to go?
I'm figuring that out now. Bear with me.
Who's letting Vancouver hire interns?
Bear with me, guys.
If you have this situation when you do your first virtual selling appointment, guys, just while we wait, one of the dialogues that you can use is, well, while I get this figured out, can I just run a web payment for $2,000?
Okay. So, Kevin, do 4205. And we'll roll from there.
How are you?
Good. It's Robin Hoare.
Hi.
Hey. So Brian had suggested I give you a call.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I don't know if he mentioned I'd be calling.
He didn't actually, no.
Yeah, I met him probably about a month ago now. What I do for him is I make his clothing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do like suits, I do shirts, business casual, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny, when him and I were meeting, we got a chance to meet face to face, but obviously now is a terrible time to meet in person.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been talking to a lot of guys. It seems like most people are using FaceTime or Zoom conference. What are you using in your business?
We're using Zoom for our morning meetings at the office, and we haven't done a ton of showings through video chat as of yet, but I'm imagining that's going to become more of the norm.
Mm-hmm. Seems like everything's rapidly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was calling. I want to see if there's any reason next week you and I couldn't take 5 or 6 minutes and jump on a Zoom call for me to show you what I do.
Sure.
Is earlier or later in the week better for you?
Probably after month end, so probably,
Can you guys pause that at all?
when.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you guys. I'm glad this is working now. So a couple of things I just wanted to note there. As Robin was first making the dialogue with the prospect there, he had asked them and sort of made a lighthearted joke, like, now is a terrible time to meet face to face. With reality, I don't always think that that's entirely necessary to admit. But of course, as we're continuing to figure out this dialogue and perfecting it, it's not that it's not working. The second thing I would say is that Robin asked the prospect, what do you usually use, Zoom or FaceTime? And you heard the prospect say Zoom right away. And again, just mentioning that to reassure you that people are comfortable with this technology. And then finally, when Robin asked, every 5 or 6 minutes, you couldn't take a quick Zoom call for me to show you what I do. The prospect just said yes, and Robin just moved seamlessly right into, as if he wasn't even surprised, as if he already expected the client to say yes. I thought that was really relevant to point out, and you can see how quickly he's navigating through this appointment. You can continue to hit play.
After Wednesday sometime, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that.
Okay. Can we do Wednesday morning, or do you want to do Thursday afternoon?
Why don't we aim for Thursday?
Okay. How's your 11 or 1:30?
11 should be fine.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll send you over a Zoom meeting invite. What's your email address?
I'll say it once and then I'll spell it. It's mraaronbest@gmail.com. That's spelled MrAaronBest@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Perfect. So I'll send this over. I'll have all my contact details in it.
Okay.
And then to save us time, are you a suit guy or are you more business casual?
I'm more.
Okay, can you hit pause, please? Okay, so a couple things there. Robin asked for the email address so he can be sure that the client or the prospect obtains the Zoom invite, which is key. And at this point in our dialogue, sometimes sales professionals may say, is it okay if I ask you a couple of real quick questions? That way I can make best use of our time. But notice how Robin, his angle was, he's just gonna be very assumptive. And he said, just real quick, a couple of questions, and just went right into it. And so what the sort of psychology behind this is Robin is in complete control of this appointment. He's asking questions, he's intentional about what he's doing. And one of the things that I think is really important to point out when it comes to qualifying a prospect and creating that buying atmosphere is that our clients are busy people. If we ask too many information questions, where do you shop? How many suits do you have? And they don't feel like the conversation is naturally progressing in a good direction, they're going to get really short with you and impatient and want to end the phone call. But what you'll notice about Robin, he's just constantly asking and thinking and asking. That's years and years and years of phone time success. However, even for our newest partners, we have a beautiful phone time qualifying sheet that helps us with all that. So the more comfortable you get, the more natural these questions will be, and the more smooth and seamless your transitions will be. You can hit play, please.
And what does that look like? Is that like jeans and a blazer, or are you like slacks and dress shirts?
I'm kind of a blend of that, I guess. Polo shirts, button-up shirts, sometimes blazer, sometimes not, just depends.
Gotcha. So kind of really of a mix.
Mm-hmm.
And where are you getting your clothes from? Is it one store? Is it all over?
Well, I do have a few suits from Indochino. I do. Then I get some stuff through Polo. I usually get my jeans through Uniqlo. That's pretty much it, I guess.
Pretty much it. Okay. So kind of suits through Indochino, Polo, Uniqlo, and what was I say? Are you fitting off the rack, or with Indochino, are you doing like a lot of alterations with them, or is it kind of when they're doing it, bringing it in? It's
Indochino is all
made to measure, yeah.
Made to measure, right? So
yeah. So they get it spot on with you, or you have to do a couple rounds?
Well, generally it fits right away.
Okay. And then looking at the closet, what do you think would be the next couple things you'd be looking to add or replace?
I haven't shopped in a long time, so most of my resources go to my kids at the moment. But I guess I could upgrade my shirts and blazer, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. Blazers, are you kind of like classic, like blue blazer, black blazer, or do you like to have a little bit of fun with it?
Honestly, I have a gray and a blue pinstripe is what I have. I don't have a big collection.
Okay. So maybe something kind of like simple, versatile, that you can really kind of mix and match with different outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll put a couple different ideas together. That's helpful from like the virtual standpoint. That'll save us time.
Sure.
So I'll put some different ideas together, and I guess if I come across a couple that really kind of jump out at you, and I don't know, you and I are more or less hitting it off, any reason you wouldn't consider giving me a shot at earning a business relationship with you?
Sure.
Cool. I will send over this calendar invite for Thursday, and I will talk to you then.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks, Aaron. You too.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin or Josh or whoever that was. But guys, how awesome was that? What else needs to be said? There you have a picture perfect appointment. Robin has qualified the prospect. He's created the buying atmosphere. At first, his objective was just simply that: take 5 or 6 minutes to show you what we do over a quick Zoom or FaceTime call. He says yes. He gets the email. He books the appointment. He creates that buying atmosphere. And at the very end, that question is so key. Is there any reason we couldn't establish a business relationship that day? Or however, which way you prefer to word it. The point being is that it is a trial close. You've now just taken an appointment, which would be, bear with me, the objective was to get the appointment, take 5 or 6 minutes, create the buying atmosphere. And now Robin has just trial closed him and said, if you like me, you like what I do, and you see something that you like, is there any reason I couldn't interrupt your business that day? And the guy said yes. So it's an effective use of a trial close. Now that prospect understands the purpose of this appointment is not just to take 5 or 6 minutes to show you what we do, but for us to perhaps benefit him by allowing us to provide him with a service that could be mutually beneficial for both of us. So we're working to put all of this footage for training purposes on our secured site for you. So if you have any other questions, feel free to email. At this point, we are going to have Kevin Nairn sort of navigate through a Zoom appointment and how to set those up. And once Kevin is finished, we are going to go right into a high energy, highly accountable, results driven phone time focused on booking some new business. Who will win? I guess we shall see. So Kevin, thank you. You can take it from here.
Kevin, you're muted.
Now I'm here. Hey, everybody. Really glad to be with you today to talk to you about Zoom. Zoom is the tool we're all using, but there's a few things that I think we can do to help your clients get their invitations a little faster and make sure that all of the pieces are connected. So I'm going to do a little presentation. We're just going to walk through almost everything there is to setting up an account all the way up to sharing your screen. So let me pull this out. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, which most of you have probably already done this, but you need to set up a Zoom account. It's a free account to sign up for. You just go to zoom.us, and at the top here you'll see sign up, and you just make an account. I can't move PowerPoint. Sorry, everybody. I'm the one who's supposed to know how all of this works. Let me try again. All right, so you set up your account, go in here, use your work email address, that's fine, and sign up for an account. Once you get your account set up, you need to install the apps on your devices. If you're on a Chromebook, which most of you are, you just go hit the little circle in the bottom left, and you search for Chrome Store. That'll pull up the Chrome Web Store. Click into that. Here you're going to see on the left-hand side, you'll see 4 Tom James users. You click that, and then from there over here, you'll see Zoom. You install it from there. Click Add to Chrome, follow this prompt, Add App. Then when it's done, it'll allow you to launch it, and you'll get to this screen. You can log in here with those credentials that you just set up when you set up your account. I think you have to, it's going to send you an email where you have to confirm your email address up and finish the setup. But eventually you can open the app here in Chrome. But Chrome isn't where you're gonna do most of your work. I recommend that we do most of the meeting setup through the iPad app. To download the iPad app, you just go to the App Store and you download the Zoom app. John Talley and I spent about an hour and a half on the phone the other day working through this, trying to figure out the best way to do this. And this is kind of how we figured out how you should set up your meetings. Now, when you get the app installed and you get to the home screen here, you have different options. New meeting, you can join a meeting, schedule meeting, or share screen. Then you have some other things on here on the left. We'll talk about those later. What you want to do is you want to schedule a meeting. Once you click in there, you have to give a meeting title. Give it something that your clients will know what it is. I'm sure you've made invite titles before. You pick the date of when it's going to happen and the time, and then you set your duration, however long you think it's going to last. Make sure your time zone is set in the right place, and you got to pick the correct calendar. On my iPad, I don't have my work email, so it's just an iCalendar, but make sure that when you add this to your calendar, it is your work account. Right below that, you have this use personal meeting ID. You have the option to turn that on or off. If you turn it off, it'll just create a unique ID for each meeting. If you're going to have these stacked back to back, you might want to think about not using your personal meeting ID. Otherwise, people could come into your meeting later if they use the same ID. Below that, you have your preferences for your audio and video. You want to make sure your host video is on or off. That's your preference. John Talley liked to turn it off. I like it being on, but that's up to you. Whether when your client arrives, you can be working in the background before you turn on your video. That's fine. You do want to turn your participant video on, and the device audio, or your audio option needs to be device audio only. You can do telephone only. You don't want to do that. There's device only, which you can't use a telephone, and there's telephone and device audio. The reason I don't recommend using telephone at all is because you want your clients to be connected and to see everything. You don't want them calling into your Zoom account because you can't show them anything. You can't show them your presentation or any cloth. So I always pick device audio only. Back here, when you're done with that, just click done, and then you'll open up a calendar invite from your iPad. It'll go straight to your iPad. And I'm sorry, this kind of went off the screen, but right here it says invitees. You click on that and you just add your client or prospect to that meeting. You click done, and then they're invited to the event. And you'll see here it shows up in your calendar. As long as you add it to your work calendar on your iPad, it syncs up to all your Outlook, and it should sync up with your store system as well. It takes a little bit of time for that to sync up, but it will show up in your store system. So this is really the easiest way to set an appointment, is through the iPad app. You can see this is what your client will see, inviting you to a Zoom meeting, and there's the link, and it goes into their calendar, they accept it, and it's done. Now back on the iPad app, when you're looking to start a meeting from your iPad, you go over here to meetings, you click that, and it'll show you a list of all your different meetings from there. So that's where you want to get to your different meetings to start your presentations. You can also click the link in, in your Chromebook, because you need to use two devices here. So I recommend using your Chromebook or your laptop and your iPad. The reason you want to do that is on your Chromebook, you can have a conversation. You don't have to go back and forth. You may have noticed earlier when people try to share their iPad, there's a little lag, and you can't see your face when you're sharing your iPad. When you use your Chromebook, you can share your iPad, and you can also share your screen on the Chromebook if you need to. But the best way to share your material is through your iPad. You already know how to use the iPad. It's really easy for you to go through VSS, through ITOM James. You know it very well, so there's no reason for you to try to do VSS and ITOM James through the Chromebook, but you still need to do it on both. That's the way we recommend it. And in the Chrome app, there's a link for meetings too, and you can start your meetings from the Chrome app as well. And you can run it in 2 places. When you start your meeting in the iPad, at the very top, you'll see a few different things. This is your meeting ID, the 519. That's the ID for this meeting. You have the option to mute and stop video. On your iPad, I would probably do that. I would mute your iPad and stop video, because you have video and you have audio on your Chromebook. So you can mute, stop video, and then share content. This is where you are able to share your iPad as an iPad onto the screen. So you click share content, and then you pick screen. After you pick screen, you pick Zoom. If you remember when Sterling was on earlier, she had other options here. And based on the apps that you have on your iPad, you may have other options, but you always want to click Zoom. Once you click Zoom, you click start broadcast, and you'll get the timer. It'll count down until 0, and then it'll start your broadcast. And it'll stay on the screen. What you do now is you just click the home button. From there, you get back to your iPad, and you can get into your VSS and start your presentation. And you can move in between apps on your iPad just like that. So it's really actually pretty easy to share your iPad presentation, share workspaces, whatever tools that you're used to using on the iPad are here in a virtual environment too. So that's very exciting. If you have any problems sharing these things, if you have problems setting up the Chromebook and the iPad, the help desk is trained to help you on this. We want you to be successful, so please reach out to Charles Smith and his team, and we want to get you fixed up. Once you do it a couple times, it's going to be really easy. It's going to be just like you're in an appointment. You're going to know where all the right buttons are. But my recommendation, of course, is to practice. Get some of your teammates. If you're in a single store, call someone else in a single store and just practice sharing your screen, getting really fluid with it, because you don't want any delays, and you want your presentation to be seamless. So that's pretty much that part of the presentation. I'm not a salesperson, so I can't actually say you anything. You should know the next part. So Josh, I'll throw it back to you, or Jack.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. So what we are going to move on to now is our phone blitz. As is tradition in all office planning day agendas, we get a jump on the next month. We've got a lot of great products. You guys just heard, got some details on what phone calling looks like. So it's time to put it to practice. For this session, I'm going to share my screen while you guys go and dial, and we're going to have a leaderboard up. So what you guys are seeing right here is our store averages. And so we're going to have a little bit of healthy competition to see which stores are serious about getting out there and making that dough with the new bonus. So check in. We have until 3:30 Central Time when we're going to get back together. And you guys are going to be really excited to see a full virtual selling appointment as Duncan walks us through that process. So do 45 minutes of dialing, check in with your store, and do some quick tracking of where you're at, and then go back and do another 45 minutes of dialing, and we'll see you at 3:30 Central.